I'm Jen Schrader, and this is Behind the Springs, conversations with the people working for you in Colorado Springs, Olympic City, USA. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am usually the one that gets to come up with the questions around here, but not this time. On this episode, we have invited residents to ask Mayor Yemi questions, and we really want to thank everyone who submitted so many great questions. We're going to get to as many as possible. We had so many, Mayor, and so many were so good. So I want to thank you for taking time. How many do you
think we received?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
If you're going to guess, 50?
Oh, at least. Okay. Higher.
60?
Higher.
90?
Probably around there.
Okay.
100.
Wow.
But we only had it posted for a short time. People only engage for so long with a post because then there's new things to see. So not bad.
All right.
Not bad. So we may do it again.
Let's do it again.
Let's see how it goes first.
Okay. Let's see if you like first.
See if you like these questions. So I know that we have told you these questions ahead of time, although not very far ahead of time.
No, not at all.
So we appreciate you kind of fielding all these different things from our community. The first one is from KDP via Nextdoor. So we ask people on various formats. Here is her question. There is a multitude of vehicles driving around with expired tags or missing license plates, and it doesn't appear there's any repercussions for these violations. Is this issue going to be addressed?
Yeah, Katie, that is a great question, and this is one that I've heard repeatedly from residents.
Have you?
So Katie's
Yes.
not the first one. In fact, I addressed it at my my State of the City address, and it's the same thing. Katie, I want to let you know is that I have directed more enforcement efforts around expired license tags. Reckless driving behavior, alcohol compliance with bars, traffic running through red light, and I just feel like we need some of these targeted enforcement to kind of reset the behavior. And accountability to the rule of law is something I have heard repeatedly from residents. And so I'm happy to report that we actually last fall we did a week-long enforcement in conjunction with the other Front Range cities, and we actually issued around 997 tickets.
Wow.
Now, out of those 997, 351 of those were from Colorado Springs.
Thanks.
And so I know that's a lot.
Yes.
And so that is something we did, and it's something we're going to continue to do because accountability to the rule of law is important to me and also our residents. So if you're listening and you have expired license plates tags, or you don't have a license plate, make sure you go to the DMV to renew those plates. And yeah.
And it's usually a quick process.
It is a quick process.
It's not that big of a deal unless you let it go, and then it can become a really big, costly deal.
Exactly.
It's going to cost you.
Exactly.
Okay, next is Danny from Instagram. What are some of your favorite ways to celebrate Black History Month in Colorado Springs and some of your favorite Black-owned businesses to support?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, so Danny, Black History Month is important to me. And I know a number of people in this community because it's an opportunity to recognize the many contributions and achievements of Black Americans in this country. It's an opportunity to understand our shared past and to inspire future generations to continue the great work. I think Black history is American history. So it's important for me to start there. Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of how you celebrate, as mayor, I have this wonderful opportunity to use my pulpit to not only shine light, but to honor and to celebrate a holiday like this. So I've done a joint proclamation with City Council to honor Black History Month, and I have been attending events around the community.
And there's some great events.
There's some great events. In fact, I'm doing one this Sunday. I'm going to be stopping by One Body ENT's 12th annual multicultural Black History production. I went to the Black History Month event hosted by the African American Historical and Genealogical organization. Our own Colorado Springs Pioneers Museum does a fantastic job at telling the story. They have great program, lectures, and exhibits that highlight Black history in our region, and that's a great place for anyone to see, to go and check it out.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be in February. You can go anytime.
You can go, really?
It's okay if you miss it. February's going fast, so.
Now, the question about my favorite business.
I know.
What are
you going to say?
this mayor is a owner of I'm a black owned small business owner. I'm a black small business owner. Now, having said that, asking me to say which business is my favorite, from that standpoint, any business at all is like asking me which one of your 3 children
is your
favorite. I have to support all.
Yes, you can't call them
Sorry,
out.
Danny.
That's okay. You
I have
can't
to
call.
support,
but there are many to support.
There are many
Yes.
incredible black-owned businesses in our town. Support them. They are the backbone of our economy.
Small businesses rock.
Small businesses.
Okay, next is Victor from next door. Victor says, I've seen many road projects underway and hope the city can catch up on all the needs soon. But if we cannot pave all the roads, can we at least restripe them? And wasn't it once standard to yellow stripe curbs? I can't tell you how many times I've almost curbed my vehicle in times of snow or dusty conditions.
Sounds like Victor needs to join the Public Works team.
I know.
I am.
He's ready.
I know. I'm impressed with his awareness and his technical knowledge as well. Okay, so Colorado Springs is the largest area. It's the largest area of any city in the state, and so we have a lot of ground to cover.
Geographically, we do.
We do,
Crazy.
and so in terms of striping our roads, that is something we actually do at least once a year, and for roads that are not done on a regular basis. I mean, we do that every couple of years.
Mm-hmm. But it has to be a certain temperature for them to stripe,
50
right?
degrees, yeah. 50 to 50, have to be above 50 degrees.
50.
And
Okay.
we often wait till the snow season is done so that we can clean the roads and the sand and our de-icer materials. For yellow curbs, that is not typically in our city policy, to my understanding. And also, when snow accumulates, it's usually above the curb. So we do use signage. Mm-hmm. And so we use signage as a way to instruct drivers, and it's also a more efficient use of taxpayer money as well than having to repaint curbs every year.
So if you have a decent snow, you've got signage sticking up.
Exactly.
Out of it. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's a good time to also shine light on our funding around these road improvement and capital improvement. And thanks to the voters for voting yes on 2C that passed by 73% last November. And also the Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority, we call PPRTA, that we use to invest in major projects, infrastructure improvements in our city.
Yeah, all really good. Okay, so next, Sean from LinkedIn. Why can't we remove the metered lights from the I-25 on-ramps, since they seem to be creating more traffic problems than they solve? Particularly the one on Fillmore heading north. There isn't enough room to accelerate to the speed of traffic flow. Yeah. I know people have a little bit of a, I would say love-hate, but probably just hate relationship with the on-ramp lights, because it slows you down. It slows you down.
It's a learning curve, even for me.
But I even know those on-ramp lights that tell you go or stop, those are not ours. Those belong to CDOT, correct? Colorado Department of Transportation. So that's the state.
It is. It does belong to CDOT.
Okay.
And yes. Now, to Sean's concern around Fillmore, I actually do want to take a second look at that and see what he's talking about. And we have a good working relationship with our CDOT partners. So that's something, Sean, I'm going to ask my team to take a second look at. But in terms of the purpose of those metered lights, I think it's important to address that. We are a growing city, mm-hmm. and it is. And I've said, but when I was a candidate and now as mayor, that we need to ensure that our infrastructure is keeping up pace with the growth of our city. So these traffic signals are really meant to control the frequency of vehicles as they enter the flow into the freeway, into the highway. Mm-hmm. As you can see, I-25 is a lot busier than, if you've lived here long enough, you would know that, gosh, I-25 is becoming congested. So it controls the flow. Think of it as just like at local intersections, our stoplights, mm-hmm. and those are also meant to control the frequency of traffic. So if this initiative by CDOT works well, it really helps us at the end of the day. And so I ask that our residents be patient as we are trying to grow with the growth of our city. But ultimately, like you said, it's CDOT's responsibility. But I will take a look at the Fillmore just to see to do a deeper dive into what Sean is talking about.
Okay. Be patient is a good piece of advice, Mayor.
Yeah.
Be patient when you have to slow down. No road raging. Okay. So we have a couple of similar questions from our Facebook followers. Anna H. asked, what are you doing to address the homeless crisis? And Marla K., also on Facebook, I don't feel safe in downtown Colorado Springs. What can we do to make it a safer place to be?
First of all, I want to affirm Marla's concern. I work downtown. I have business downtown. I live in the downtown area. This is at the top of my mind, my family's mind. And so it's something that we are working on. We depend on our street outreach team. Sometimes it's effective, sometimes not effective, but ultimately we want to move these residents from the streets into a safe place so that they can begin to get the help that they need and the path to get the pathway out of homelessness. But we just piloted a program that's sort of like a downtown coordinated effort to address homelessness in the downtown area, and that involved our homeless outreach team officers, our homeless outreach program public servants, and these are behavioral health public servants. And we are moving the needle, but I know Marla would say it's not fast enough. Mm-hmm. The good news is I'm proud of one of our newest hire, Amy Cox, and I know you had her on the show.
Yes.
Amy is a rock star. She's providing leadership to our homeless efforts as well as housing efforts. So under Amy's leadership, we're gonna move the needle. Last fall, I just released our new homeless response plan for how it's going to direct our activities over the next 5 years, and it's focused on outreach, cleanup, enforcement, housing, support.
I mean, similar to that downtown plan, but I want to point out that downtown effort is specific to downtown.
Yes.
Like that's an effort specifically targeting to Marla's question, downtown area.
Yeah,
but to Anna's question, that larger plan is about homelessness in general.
It's citywide.
Yes, because as we know, it's a citywide issue.
It's a citywide problem. So that homeless plan.
So two different focuses.
Thank you for clarifying that.
That's really good.
The homeless plan is citywide.
Right. And
it has 6 priorities that we are implementing, and I am confident will help move the needle. Now, I hate to put it this way, but I don't think homelessness is going away. Mm-hmm. But we can reduce it, and I want to be the city that has moved us closer to cracking the code around on homelessness. So it's a holistic
reducing and prevention
and preventing, and this plan is holistic from prevention to also dealing with residents that are actively dealing with homelessness. The city is not a homeless provider, but we do take the lead often, and we do play quarterback, and we do have departments that are involved in this work, including my fire department, my police department, and other departments.
That's a good way to put it, that we play quarterback. Yes, we have some great partners. Okay, next is Christopher from Facebook. I think the greatest future concern for this city is water. What are your thoughts on continued annexations, and what is your vision for manageable growth? And how many times have you been asked that question? No, that's my question, but I would probably guess that that's a common question.
It is a common question
about annexation and growth.
And Christopher is asking the right question. And I think most people are trying to identify, how do you make those decisions, and what is the balance? And Christopher, you're right. We do need to balance the need for more growth, 27,000 homes, potential deficit that we have
right now.
And we need to, and we need to also balance that with the reality that we have limited natural resources. Both are important. The need to grow, but also the need to conserve our limited natural resources. And I'm not interested in political decisions or picking winners and losers. I'm interested in intelligent, practical, data-informed decisions that affect the common good. So currently we have city codes that to help ensure that we have enough water for residents as we're considering future growth decision. We're also currently working on Annex COS. That should be done, Lord willing, within the next 2 to 3 months. And this is the city's new annexation plan.
So is that like a rule book or guidelines?
Yeah, it's. I think the last one was from 2004.
Okay, so it's time.
It's a series of ways to make decisions around annexation that considers just about everything.
All of these things he's asking.
Utilities, resources, needs, and so it's what's really important for Christopher to know that this plan is also informed and shaped by the residents' needs and desires. And we did have back in January a community input session to the draft plan. So this plan will include policies, annexation plans, and sustainability goals and more. So
it's definitely big on your radar.
It's big on my radar. It's something that I don't think it's going.
It has to be, yeah.
And that's it's also a typical council decision because it's a land use issue which council deals with. But I am working closely with my council teammates to ensure that we are managing growth well. It's going to take both branches of government to ensure that we're managing growth well.
Yes. Okay. Next question is from the Miss Colorado Princess. She identified herself as a young gal here in Colorado Springs named Sparrow Kilgore
Hi,
on
Sparrow.
Facebook. And you know Sparrow?
I do know Sparrow.
You've met her? Okay. And how old is Sparrow? Do you know?
Sparrow's 7 years old.
Okay, 7 years old. So probably from our youngest resident, maybe. Question from our youngest resident. She is asking, who is someone that you have had the opportunity to meet as mayor who has inspired you?
Well, Sparrow, it's so good to hear from you. I'm proud of you. I'm actually learning.
Is it Sparrow? Is the answer Sparrow? No, I'm just kidding. She has inspired you.
She has inspired me. She's incredible. She came to my office last fall with mom and dad.
Oh, neat.
And I'm really inspired by this story and journey. But I can't tell the story because that's not mine to tell.
Okay.
But that family is just a great family. So I was pleased to see that she had a question for me, and her question is actually not surprising.
No.
So
okay.
One of the things that Sparrow and I share in common, and her parents and I share in common, is faith. And without trying to sound overly too religious, but I am inspired by the person and the work of Jesus. And here's why he's one of my biggest inspirations, because of his message and teaching of love, compassion, of loving your enemies, doing good to those who do evil to you, love your neighbor as yourself, his character and his example. And I'm drawn to the person of Jesus, and he just serves people. One of the things I love is the story of Jesus and Judas. He knew he was going to betray him, and yet he still served him, still washed his feet, and honored him. Which is, if we implemented that in the political arena today, how transformative that would be. Now, bridging from that to Abraham Lincoln, who's one of my all-time inspiration, and I'm inspired by his political leadership.
You have quoted him often. Yes.
I quote him often, and we both just celebrated a birthday.
Yes,
February 12th, and so I am inspired by Abraham Lincoln's legacy and the way he led during a time of immense division and a time in our nation's history marked with deep disagreement and violent conflict, and yet he stayed the course. He was empathetic. He was understanding. He didn't compromise on his principles, but he did compromise on solutions. We have to come together for a solution that may not be perfect, but works. And his ability to work with enemies and rivals, and he built a team of rivals, are things that all inspire my leadership.
That kind of helps you when you're dealing with all these bigger issues we're talking about, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. Sparrow, thank you for that question.
Sparrow, good question.
Yeah.
Now, this question we've got to have. You know that a few people asked this question, but we are quoting Tanner T. from Facebook, who wants to know, when will the potholes be fixed?
Tanner, I so appreciate your question because we're about to go into pothole season.
It's an important question.
It's February. Spring is coming. As you can see, just this week alone, today it's been this week. It's been mostly in the 20s, and I believe it's supposed to warm up tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and then
high
this
of
weekend,
50, and then it's supposed to go up to 61 degrees.
It's like a heat wave.
It's a heat wave, and then it's going to be cold again.
Yes.
So the freeze thaw.
So there you go.
The freeze thaw puts a lot. It's harsh on our pavement. I read recently that we have 100 to 200 freeze thaw cycles in a year. So you can imagine the stress that puts on our roads. Thus, we have potholes, and so we take those seriously. And as the weather gets warmer,
I'm joking, but we do take them seriously.
And we fix between 93 100,000 to 100,000 potholes annually. So Tanner, I need your help. And here's where you can help me. I need you to report those potholes. So if there are actually potholes around your neighborhood or your place of work that you see, please use our Go COS app to report those potholes. And usually my team responds in 48 hours to your request, and we will get there.
We just can't know where they all are.
Exactly.
So we do need the public's help.
Yeah, we don't have team members. It would be a waste of our taxpayer dollars of having team members just to drive around town looking for potholes, because you just never know
when they're going to pop up.
Where they're going to pop up. And we're a large geographic city. So Tanner, I need your help. Report it. We will be there. And it's also, again, another opportunity to thank the voters for voting yes on the ballot initiative 2C, so that we can continue to invest in our road infrastructure over the next 10 years. Because potholes, believe it or not, are a Band-Aid solution.
Absolutely.
They don't act. If we can go there and actually repave, it actually will have great roads and not have potholes every year. So we can extend the life of that repaved road before potholes start to emerge.
Yes, so thank you, voters. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, this one's a little bit more fun. This is from Eric, one of our city employees here on our team.
I think I know which Eric this is.
Yes, okay. He said, I know you enjoyed Notre Dame's run to the college football playoff championship game. Can the Fighting Irish reload and get back there next year?
Hell yeah. Go Irish.
Wait, can you say that on this show?
Can I say that?
I think so.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Go Irish. It was a good year.
You are a big Notre Dame fan.
I'm a big Notre Dame fan. And Jen, why is fall of 1996 is when I moved to the country as an international student. I did not attend Notre Dame University, but I went to a small university just 3 miles down the road.
Okay.
And you moved to a college town, and
you got sucked in.
I got sucked in.
Yes.
It was my introduction to the American culture.
Yeah.
And then my sister went to the sister college for Notre Dame, which is St. Mary's.
Yeah, St. Mary's.
And I was able to go see the games using her student access.
Oh, nice.
So I'm obsessed. I bleed blue and gold, and
it was a fun year.
The family were all in. It was a fun year, and I'm proud of the team and Mark and the coach Marcus Freeman for how they delivered and they showed up this year. So I'm a little biased, so I decided to ask AI for their opinion.
Oh,
yeah,
bring in AI.
Yeah, I thought, you know what? Of course I'm going to answer Eric's question and say, yeah, we are going to reload and get back there and win the championship. So I'm like, okay, AI, what?
Yeah, what?
What's? And this is what AI says, quote, Notre Dame definitely has the talent and coaching to reload and make another run next year. The big question is whether they can develop their young talent, maintain strong quarterback play, and continue dominating in the trenches. If Marcus Freeman and his staff can bring in key transfers, we're working on that, keep the defensive identity strong, and get more consistency on offense, the Fighting Irish should be in the mix. Of course, their schedule is always tough, but if they handle business, there's no reason they can't be back in the playoffs conversation. So
you're trying to give an appreciate answer. I appreciate that.
I did. So,
but are you happy with that?
Yeah. I mean, thank you, AI.
Thank you, AI.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
The only thing they didn't say is they're going to win.
Right.
Next
which is
year.
what you would have. Which is what you said.
So I don't know, AI. I think they're 95% correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Not bad. Okay. So next one. Jen, not me, but from Instagram. What has been the most surprising thing about being mayor? We'll finish with this one.
All right. Thank you, Jen, from Instagram.
Yes.
The job is a lot. Long days, long hours.
Long questions.
Long questions, but I welcome it, and I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Best job I've ever had. Also the hardest job I've ever done. When people ask me this question, they often expect me to say it's the job, but it's actually not the job. What's most surprising for me is how well my family is doing in the midst of this new reality of public life. I think of my 3 kids, Dewitt, Toomey, and Zion. They're not just Dewitt, Toomey, and Zion, regular kids. Dewitt, Toomey, and Zion, the mayor's kids. So there's a lot of pressure.
It's a big adjustment, right?
Yeah, pressure on them and expectation of them, and they do really well. I haven't shared this story the other day. They're doing so well that they actually know how to leverage get into the mayor as well. I think the story of my
Have they
daughter.
reported some potholes on your street?
Exactly. My 7-year-old will probably report some potholes. And
Pretty soon.
Let me end with this story. When I pulled into a driveway, I was talking to my wife, Abby. We're having a pretty important conversation. And my 7-year-old, who's going to be president of something, she's the one that will report potholes, runs to the car to interrupt our conversation. And of course, I know she's relentless. She doesn't give up. So I was just ignoring her because I'm talking to her mom. We're having an important conversation. And she just kept saying, Dad, Daddy. Mm-hmm. Daddy.
As kids often do.
And I just kept ignoring her. Dad, Daddy. I just kept ignoring her. Dad, Daddy, Mayor. And I got to be honest, I actually stopped talking to my wife, Abby, and I answered her.
So and now she's like, yes.
She knows how to get a hold of me.
It reminds me of when kids say your name. Instead of mom or dad, they say your name.
They say your name.
She's got a whole nother option.
She does. So I do get called mayor in my household. Okay. So they are not only transitioning well, they're also leveraging that their dad is mayor and they can get all things that they want too.
They have some questions of their own. They're asking their own questions.
They are.
Thank you for answering all these.
Oh, my pleasure. This was great.
This is a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate our listeners and our residents submitting their questions. That means a lot. I welcome them. And Jen, I look forward to doing this again.
You want to do it again?
Let's do it again.
All right. Well, thanks so much for listening. Thanks for joining us for Behind the Springs.